have a lot of like ab work right now with my stomach.
There you go. There you go.
Jesus.
Okay.
Does that work for you?
Yeah.
I mean, that's
So this is where the outside is gonna be.
yeah. This is where your hole is. Yeah, 22 3/4 right
Yes.
here, and then that's the outside lines.
That's good.
We're gonna fix and cut it.
What are you gonna cut it with?
I'm gonna cut razor knife first, but I gotta get us a line, you know.
Yeah.
Just ballpark it. All right, if that's level. Because I was hitting something when I was cutting it. Alright, we got them down.
Oh, yep.
There's your screw.
That's the culprit.
It's gonna be hot.
Got cutting through the head on it. Really?
There's your corners.
Alright.
Oh, sorry. And then that one up here. And then, of course, right there. That should be your corners. That's just transferring these corners to that outside wall.
See. So if you can see, we've got a big hole in the side of the house now. We just covered it up last night with some of the old paneling we took out of the bathroom. But as you can see, okay, I'm gonna try to explain. So this whole room used to be, it was built by me and a good friend of mine to be a music studio. So that's one of the reasons we had to put all of our electrical on the outside of the walls, because we weren't planning on having tons of electrical, so we didn't really put any plugs in. All of our electrical was going to be in our control room, which is kind of where the bathroom is now. It intended to have or to become a house down the road. So it's why a lot of this we're just having to make it work now, which we also kind of like the look of this. So we were like, hey, that's kind of two birds with one stone. Even though we're having to do it on the outside, we like it. It looks good. You know, it's cool looking. So same thing with this. This is the outside, or what used to be the outside of the garage. And the way this thing was built is you got 4x4s, like every 4 foot. It's got like 2x4s that are big cross members, like running down it. And that's pretty much it. I mean, that was the wall. So trying to do your 16-inch on center studs, I mean, it was going to be a whole lot of cutting out, a whole lot of just, it was just going to be more work than what we wanted to do. Keep in mind, back then when we were building this as a studio. Now, if I would have started with the walls like they were when we were getting ready to do a house, I would have done them just like your standard would be. But we had already, these walls were already in place, already built before we started doing this house. And it was already a bunch of money we could save if we just used what we had, made it work, worked around it. So that's why a lot of this is like this. That side of the house I added on later. It's your standard 16-inch on center. I mean, everything's like any typical house being built nowadays is. But this one is a little more tricky. And so you can see the 2x4s, which are technically the studs on this side, they're just fastened. You have like a top seal up there. They're just fastened to the top seal, and they just ran down, and then they were fastened just to the bottom, and that was our studs. So you got, it's a dummy wall. So this is a dummy wall, and then you've got where the other wall used to be. So you had like a 4x4, you had all the 4x4 posts I was talking about here on this wall, and then we built a little dummy wall here. So you got a big old opening, which is gonna be cool like in the bathroom on the window, because you'll have, the window will be here, and then you'll have a big deep like window sill. So like the wife can put plants or whatever, it'd be cool once it's done. But I know all the expert, carpenters and out there, they're gonna be like, what in the world is going on here? That's just to kind of explain this craziness here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna end up reinforcing this and framing it all up. So we're just planning on 1.5 inches lower here. We're gonna just run a 2x4 over to this 2x4. Like I said, 1.5 inches low. So then we're gonna go get a 2x8, and I think this is like 7 inches, give or take. We'll get a 2x8. We're gonna custom cut it to fit in here. Keep in mind, it'll be 1 inch, our bracing will be 1.5 inches lower. So once you then put, your top cap on here, it'll all be flush. We're gonna do that pretty much all sides here to case this out. So that's how we'll do that. We also got to run and put our electrical. We're gonna put our plug up higher. I got my 10-2. If you remember from the last video, the 10-2 wires up there, I've got to run it all the way to here, put the plug in. Like I said, then we're gonna frame this out.
I have a lot of ab work right now with my stomach.
There you go.
Any thoughts? Put a hole in the wall.
side? I think this side's the heavier side. Oh my
Okay,
god.
here, give them all to me.
Here,
Just
I got it. Let's go. No problem. Okay, this is the heavier side. Okay. Ready? Good? Okay. I get the lid. I got to get the lid. I'll get this. I'll let you do it.
oh, it's cold.
Yeah, it's almost cold.
Oops.
Auto, let's turn. Go. Then
It's
I'll-
like blasted in my eye.
I'm gonna turn them both to like 68.
Hi.
Creepy.